And so now, my name is Ayush Barua. Today we're going to be going over the basics of League of Legends. We're going to be covering three parts of the game: the shop, laning, and CSing. Before you actually get into these parts, let's learn about the objective of the actual game. The objective of each game that you play is to destroy the enemy nexus or base. Essentially, you have to do that by destroying turrets in each lane, the top, mid, and bottom lane, and therefore you can get to the enemy nexus and destroy that. Before we actually learn about the parts again, let's learn about the jargon that you want to know beforehand. There is CS, or creep score, which is kills against minions or monsters that give you money. A KS, which is kill steals, taking a kill that isn't deserved. A gank, which is when a jungler comes to help your lane. And then a leash, which is helping the jungler kill the first monster. There's also feeding and being fed, which means giving an enemy tons of kills or getting tons of kills. Int is intentionally feeding. CC is crowd control, or any slowing or stunning effects that can be applied on enemies. Dodging is not playing a match or not picking a champion, which causes the game to not start. Running it down is essentially after winning or losing a lane, taking fights in the mid lane. And there's ability power and attack damage, or AP and AD. AP is essentially how strong your magic abilities are, and AD is how strong your physical abilities are. Then there are auto attacks. Auto attacks are every champion's base attack, which aren't abilities. So, starting off with the shop. The shop is a system of empowering the champion and getting an upper hand on the opponents. You build yourself items that have good synergies with your own champion, and you buy yourself items that are counters to enemy champions. For example, if you're in the top lane and you're laning against the champion Dr. Mundo, who has an ultimate that when he sacrifices a portion of his health to increase his health regeneration by a lot. Whenever you play into a champion like Dr. Mundo who has lots of health regeneration, you'd usually want to buy an item called Executioner's Calling. Executioner's Calling gives a status effect or a passive to any champion or enemy that you attack. It gives them Grievous Wounds for 3 seconds. What Grievous Wounds does is that it reduces incoming healing. So essentially, you would reduce the healing that Dr. Mundo would get from his ultimate, making it easier for you to take him down and kill him. Of course, there's tons of other buffs and abilities that the shop can give you with the various items. Well, that's essentially what you need to know. You can buy yourself useful items that can help you counter against powerful opponents and give you synergies with your own champion. And so now, the second part would be laning. And laning consists of the top laner, trying to guard his own lane, as well as destroy the enemy top turrets, the jungler, who roams around and helps the other lanes, and then there's the mid laner, who guards his own turret and destroys the other enemy turrets as well. And then there's the bot lane, who consists of two people, the support and ADC, try to defend their own lane, as well as take down the enemy turrets of their own. And now, you can see the jungler coming in for a gank, essentially doing his job and helping the mid laner get a kill. Okay, so now we're going to be going over CSing. CSing is essentially killing enemy minions or monsters in the jungle. It's the easiest and most efficient way to earn money, and therefore it gives you the biggest advantage against your enemies. Knowing how to properly CS is paramount to winning, because the more money you have, the better items you can buy, which means the bigger advantage you get against the enemy. Now, there are 3 different types of main minions that you will see in a minion wave, which is essentially what you have to kill, right? The minions. First, there are melee minions. Melee minions give 21 gold per each kill, and they give the second most amount of experience points. They appear in every wave and are the front line of the minion wave. Essentially, they're the tanks in the minions. Now, the second minion are caster minions. They are essentially the long-range attack damage minions. They each give 14 gold and the least amount of experience. And then siege minions. Siege minions come every 3rd wave before 10 minutes and come every other wave after 20 minutes. They are basically a combination of the melee minions and the caster minions. They are both tanky and they do lots of damage. It's important to note that they provide 60 gold as well, and they give the most amount of experience. And so now, we're going to be going over how to manage waves and lanes, which is an essential part of CSing. There are 3 separate ways to do this: freezing, slow pushing, fast pushing. The most easiest way to do it is fast pushing. Fast pushing consists of totally clearing the enemy wave and killing all the minions. It's the fastest way to push your own wave. All your minions will go up and crash into the enemy turret and do damage. And now, the second way to to manage your waves is slow pushing. Slow pushing consists of only killing the caster minions or the melee minions, because so your own minion wave builds up and the enemy has to clear it or it will crash into their turret and do extra damage. And now, freezing a lane is done by last hitting the minions only, or by keeping the minions in one spot of the lane. It makes it so the enemy has to push up and become vulnerable to ganks by your jungler. That means that two of you can team up against one person. Essentially, it's easier to get a kill, and they lose a lot of money and experience doing that.